Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your program that is power-packed with protein and probiotics, a study in the Psalm 5 minutes a day. It's just plain good for you, and it's served up right here in the Bible Bistro. Come on in and sit down and get yourself something hot or cold to drink. Open your Bible, and let's just look together this week a Psalm of David. Yes, friends, we have left the orphanic Psalms. No longer are they not titled. Well, at least for this week. Haven't looked at Psalm 102 yet, so I don't know about next week. But this week we have a name associated with the psalm, and it is David. So this is going to be a good one. This little psalm is only 8 verses long, Psalm 101. So we're going to do verse 1 today, and we'll do verses 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, and then verse 8 on Friday. And this, of course, is the week of 4th of July, so I know a lot of folks are probably going to be traveling. I hope you'll take Daily Dose Radio with you. I would love to see the sights. Wherever you happen to travel to, take me with you to your parties, take me along. In the car, play us on the radio in the car. And, of course, Daily Dose Radio is everywhere. We have a social media empire. We're on YouTube and SoundCloud and Facebook and Twitter, of course, all the big ones. Stitcher and Tumblr and iHeartRadio. Love being on iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio is great to us, to Daily Dose Radio. And, of course, you can get it as an iTunes podcast download. We're on SoundCloud, and I mentioned SoundCloud. So let's look at verse 1 in Psalm 101. This is a disciples' psalm. You'll notice, just glancing down through here, through these 8 verses, how many times the first person appears. 18 different times in 8 verses. We have the first person singular pronoun. This is a psalm that is intensely personal. This is David's declaration, if you will. It's almost a faith declaration. So I say this is the disciples' psalm. So we're going to see issues like worship and morality, our associations with both the wicked and the faithful, and the zeal of the disciple. So let's just begin today in verse 1, and we'll look at this idea of worship. For the disciple, as David writes here in this 101st Psalm, we have this issue of worship. He says there in verse 1, I will sing of mercy and judgment. Unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. So the very first thing he says to us in this Psalm of discipleship is that he's going to worship the Lord, and he's going to do it with song. Now, we've seen over and over again, actually in this section of the Psalter, that is, we've had so many of these orphanic psalms, but they've been about worship and about approaching the Lord with song, with music. So this really fits in this section very nicely as we begin it. I will sing. And it also connects with Psalm 100, because there and in Psalm 99, we had this idea of singing and celebrating. So again, we have these connecting themes that bind the Psalms together. I will sing of, and here's our theme, so what we're going to sing about, mercy and judgment. God demonstrates both mercy and judgment to the believers, to the unbelievers. He's always stretching out his hand. He's always seeking to reconcile men to himself, and he's also at the same time judging sin. And those things, mercy and judgment, are going to be things that we see reflected in discipleship, as David kind of gives that to us here in this psalm. Both mercy and judgment are going to be seen in how the disciple lives his or her life. All right, so I hope you'll join me again tomorrow, and we'll look at verses 2 and 3 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.